final interview as part of this Bridgewater College Day Giving 2019, and we have the Director of Athletics and Head Baseball Coach Curt Kendall, who recently announced his retirement from the head baseball coaching position effective at the end of the season after 34 years of the program, but he's still going to remain as the Director of Athletics for his 20th season coming up. But Coach, before we kind of go into all that, let's talk a little bit about the state of athletics and how the baseball season is looking so far and where we're standing.
Well, state of athletics is pretty good at Bridgewater College. We're pretty well supported. If you look around the league and you hear from other coaches and at other places, they know that what's going on here is the coaches know they're well supported, and that's from the administration on down to the community and the outside world. So I feel pretty good about where we're at with athletics in general at this point. Baseball, we're struggling right now. We're trying to find our groove a little bit. We're trying to work on some things and hopefully get more consistent where we can win some more ball games.
We've had some matching challenges today on the Day of Giving. One of the big ones involves baseball. It was a generous offer from Andy Moore, class of '94, who was recently inducted into the Bridgewater Hall of Fame, that if we can get 25 donors today to the baseball program, he will match $6,000 for the new Champions Wall. Talk a little bit about that project, what it looks like, and of course a pitch to get more donors. I know we're not at that 25 people yet.
Well, it's the wall plus some surrounds. We're going to, on the right field wall, we've already put the screen up. We're going to put windscreen that designates all the championship years on it for the ODAC championship. We're also going to add on the side of the hitting facility the championships prior to the ODAC. And then in left field, it's going to be all the NCAA regional appearances. And so it'll be all new windscreen. It'll look pretty good. And any additional money is going to go toward enhancements to the facility itself.
Although that's taking one or two home runs away from me this year, it's going to be a great look to the facility. Excited for how it's going to look. But kind of looking over kind of a day of giving for Bridgewater. Talk about just the impact that giving has to the whole entire campus and to the athletics budget and all that.
Well, I think people give because they see there's something here that's special, either because they went here, they're alums, or if they're a parent, their student went here, or they're still a student and they're giving. And I think they realize that what's going on here is something special. Dr. Bushman's done a great job with this institution. He's a great leader, and I think everybody understands that in all facets of this community here at Bridgewater College. So I think giving is something we all need to do, and I think people are doing it because they see there's something special going on here.
And on that note, I guess talk a little bit about the success the department has had, especially in the fall. We had a number of firsts for a lot of our teams. It was really, I think better results across the board, and really the department seems like it's in a good place.
Yeah, I think the goal when I came on as AD was to see everybody have a chance to play for a conference championship across the board, and we've achieved some of those over the course of the last 19 years, and to see the fall be so successful for both our soccer programs, and all the other programs that have been successful, but with what they've done and the special moments they've had going to postseason and getting that experience is something you don't always get, and we want that for everybody, and hopefully all our programs have that experience at some point.
Coach, at the end of February, you announced that you'll be stepping away from the baseball program after 34 years, and emotional night, but it was one where you felt a lot of appreciation towards everything that the game has given you and that you think you've given to that. Talk about kind of just how you've seen the state of baseball change over the past 34 years, kind of the things that you've seen improve, not just from a conference standpoint, from a school standpoint.
Well, I mean, times have changed. I mean, I started back in the 80s, and recruiting was so different than it is now. So that in itself has changed every 10 years probably to what it takes to bring the right people in and recruit the right people to your school. So that's a big facet of what you have to be able to do now to be successful. But I think we established in our program in baseball, we established some tradition because we always went out there believing we could win ball games. The players that played for us always felt that same belief, and that just carried us through. There were times where we probably weren't the best talented team, but they found a way to get it done and just compete as one and find a way to get it done and achieve the goal. And I think over the course of time, that built tradition, and we laid that on the next group and the next group, and that carried us for a long time. And and that's where baseball's going over that time. So the game itself's changed because of youth sports and travel ball and all that, and that's just it. We're just going a different direction. You got to find a different way to connect to athletes today because of that background in that youth sport world, so to speak. So it's a different day and time in that regard.
How is it competing in a conference as tough as the ODAC? Over the last couple of years, it's been a conference that's had a couple top 25 teams, a couple teams that are, threats to get at-large bids. But even recently, it seems like some of the programs that maybe were closer to the bottom 4 or 5 years ago have gotten a lot better, and the depth has, really risen the last couple seasons.
If there's one thing I can say that we've helped pave the way, because when you're winning year in and year out, people get tired of that and they start making changes at their institutions, and that's happened across the board in our conference. And it's the toughest conference, if not the toughest, one of the top 2 conferences in the nation in Division III. We've had 3 teams go to postseason last year, and that speaks for how tough the conference is, because that's hard to do. It was hard enough to get 2, and we were a part of that process when that began. So I feel good about what we did contributing to that, but I can tell you right now, top to bottom, every day you go out there, it's a challenge, and that's just giving good respect to the people that are coaching those teams and the institutions that invested in those coaches and those players.
Coach, as we kind of look forward into the future of athletics, what is the kind of thing that you're going to kind of lean on when just focusing on being an athletics director? What are the kind of things that you're wanting to build on and kind of improve and make sure Bridgewater College stays at the top of the ODAC?
Well, I've tried to be pretty balanced in my approach as athletic director, even being the head baseball coach. But clearly, I'll be able to really focus on a lot of the other programs and what their needs are, particularly the spring sports, where I probably haven't been as involved because of being involved with baseball. But try to give coaches more of my time, give student athletes more of my time, whether it's through SAC or whatever the case may be, trying to help them achieve their goals moving forward in 4 years from now or when they graduate.
Well, Coach, thanks a lot for your time today. Again, if you're watching and you're a supporter of the baseball program, please, 25 donations of any amount. I know we've gotten great support in the past, so it's tough to ask for one more thing, but that could go a long way towards unlocking this extra challenge. And thank you everyone for tuning in with us today. We'll come back for one more sign off and one more update. But
yeah, I want to say one thing before you get off the air here. I want to say this broadcast has been very good. You guys did a great job, and we need to give credit to both Jimmy and Brett, but also Lynn, who's out here making it happen and making this a fluid operation. You guys did a great job today.
Thanks, Coach. We'll be right back here after a moment, update you on the numbers, and we'll close shop here. Bridgewater College Day of Giving live stream 2019.